Welcome to the Stop the Starving Artist podcast. My name is Lennon Bone, and I'm so excited to have you here today. We're talking about selling, why selling feels slimy, and why it doesn't have to. We're going to take some very common things that buyers feel when you try to sell to them, and we're going to flip the script on those things. And I guarantee you're going to hear some things that you've either said or you've heard a lot of artists say that you thought were you like taken up for your work. And actually, it might be preventing you from getting that sale with that person. So let's jump into it. So far, my community has seen over $135,000 in sales this year in 2025. And this makes me so excited. I have a mission of seeing our artists make $1 million in sales collectively. And that's a big ask, but we're up for the challenge. And I'm really excited for it because, it's still a small community. And I'd love more than anything to see this community hit that on the nose, because what we're focusing on in there is not just selling, not just marketing, right? We're focusing on connecting, because I believe when you serve instead of sell, that's when the magic happens. That's when you have long-time clients that come back to you again and again and again. And that's what also keeps you from feeling like super icky when you're selling your stuff. Because I know you're not going for that like used car salesman vibe, right? So let's talk about the top 5 reasons that sales feel salesy and how you can flip each one so you're not just selling more art, but you're doing it in a way that feels true to you. Okay. So number 1, now these are things again that you felt as a buyer, and we're going to talk about it from that lens. And we're going to also talk about how I see artists do this as a seller. Okay. So the first thing that feels really icky as a buyer is they feel like the seller is like shaming them or putting some sort of fear or guilt on them. Like maybe you felt this in some way, right? And I've felt this before many times. I remember one of the first things that I bought online. It turned out I actually really loved the program, but it did feel pretty like fear-based in the marketing approach, and I fell for it. But this was 10 plus years ago. So people got away with that a little more than they do now. But I see artists use lines like this. They'll say, hey, if you really support local artists, you'd buy directly from me, right? How many of you have wanted to say that out loud if you haven't said it, right? People who really care about handmade would never buy from some big box store. So there's this like shame or guilt that you're putting on someone. And again, you may not mean to, or you might, I don't know. Some artists definitely get a little high on their horse there, but I prefer anything that draws someone in, because we don't. Let's say you want someone to buy local or support local artists or do these things in this way. If you want to change somebody's mind, you don't do it by shaming or guilting them. Like, look at the political climate right now. How many people are actually changing their minds based on what's happening in the regular world? Ain't nobody changing their minds, right? And it's sad because nobody's willing to have an actual conversation. So I love this idea of just speaking to them the things that they're going to do when they support you. So rather than saying like people who really care about handmade would never shop from a box store, you might say something like, hey, I just want to say thanks so much for supporting someone who makes handmade things. And it doesn't matter if you're just following along, if you're sharing this with somebody, or if you're actually collecting my work. I'm just super grateful that you're here. See how that opens the door that even if they're not ready to buy right now, they're going to be way more willing to stay in your world. And that's powerful, because if you have a mission, like in my heart-based sales accelerator, actually everything in terms of a heart-based sales system has to do with your mission. How are you trying to change your little corner of the world, right? And so when you think about that, let's say that you're trying to change your little corner of the world by helping people buy more handmade things and be better for the earth by steering further away from, big box stores and things. Well, you don't want to just shove things down people's throats in the wrong way. You want to slowly bring them in, right? You do want to draw a line in the sand, but you can do it in a way that is conversational and feels supportive, right? So I think it's a really beautiful thing. Another way you could say this is like, imagine how gorgeous this piece is going to look in the nook of your home, right? I really believe you're going to smile every time you pass it. So you can see there's just a natural tone that I'm trying to put in there that just shows appreciation while also highlighting the value of the work. Okay. So the second thing that buyers feel is that the seller is being pushy or high pressure in some way. So this looks like, hey, if you don't buy this now, I'm giving it to somebody else. I'm going to hold this for 24 hours and then it's going to the next person. Serious buyers only. Please don't waste my time. You're making assumptions about somebody. And the theme here is that when you speak to someone in a certain way and you trigger something in them, they sort of become that person, But when you speak positive into them, life into them, like they will also become that person. It's like when I tell my kiddos, like, hey, you're not the kind of kiddo that does insert bad thing here. You're not the kind of kid that like shoves butter down the drain or whatever, right? Then that's much better than like shaming them or guilting them into something, because it allows them to see themselves in a different light. And so I love this. Man, I'm so excited that this piece is going to find its forever home. DM me if you want to chat about it. And what I'll do is I'll allow you to claim it for 24 hours and I'll hold it for you. So you have some time to make a decision, and I'm there to answer any questions that you have. You see, I'm there supporting them, right? I'm putting a little scarcity, a little urgency there because we do need that in our marketing. Because let's be real, marketing tools like scarcity and urgency aren't bad, but the marketer might be bad. The marketer might have bad intentions. But when we start thinking about like, oh, okay, I do need urgency. I do need to kind of push them a little bit to make a decision. We can still do that in a way that isn't, putting them down or shaming them or guilting them in any way, putting a lot of pressure on them. You know what I mean? And the other thing that I'll always say is like, even to people that are thinking about buying my program, it's like, hey, if this isn't the right time for you, that's totally fine. I have no expectation of us working together. And that just relinquishes that feeling of like, hey, I expect you, or I'm looking at you. I know you need to be doing, it's like, no, if this isn't your thing, if you're not ready, be well. Like I send you all my blessings, right? I just think that that's such a different approach. Okay. The third thing that we feel as buyers that feels icky is when it's all about the seller rather than you, the buyer, right? So the way artists do this a lot of times, they'll say things like, well, this took me 40 hours to paint. Like, please respect my time. Okay. And I get it. If somebody comes at you and they say things like, well, my kiddo could do this or something like that. Like, it's all BS, whatever. Right. But they're not your buyers anyway. Like, that's the thing to remember is like when you're engaging with those kinds of people, they're not going to buy from you anyway. So who cares? Like, let them go. But, that's just one way that I see a lot of artists kind of make things about them, and they don't really mean to. It's like they're trying to show value in their work, which I see, but we want to make it more about the person that's buying, because that's who you're really serving here, right? The process is to serve you, but the transaction is to serve them. You know what I mean? So another thing that I hear artists say is like, I poured my heart into this. Like, it's not a bad thing to say, but it's like you're making it about you. I'm really proud of this piece. Yeah, that's fine. Be proud of it, but don't lead with that. Don't lead with these things. You know what I mean? So one of the things that I encourage artists to do is to really revolve things around a mission. So in the heart-based sales system, your mission is the heartbeat of everything. Okay. It's like, for instance, one of our clients, their mission is to help people see the earth, to help people treat themselves and the earth better, right? That's their mission. We want to make art to help people treat themselves and the earth better. So if that's their mission, well, then it's easy to make it about them. Instead of saying like, we've poured our heart into this. It's like, hey, I really hope that every time you see this, you can see how important you are. Because when we made this, we were thinking about those kind of people, the people that know that the earth is valuable, know that they themselves are valuable. And so we want to honor those people. And, if that's you, if that's the kind of person that you are, we really did make this with you in mind. See how that's a different approach, and then you could follow that up still with like, and we're really proud of this, but it's just different than like leading with it. I hope that makes sense, right? Okay. The next one, so we have two more, and the last one is the one that you're probably doing, but you don't realize that you're doing it. So I'm really excited about that one. But this one is, it feels transactional and not relational. Now, I guarantee you're doing this in some way. So the main ones that I see is like, let's say you post something on Instagram and you say, hey, here's the price, here's the size, here's how it ships, here's the link, done. Like there's no relational connection that you're trying to build, right? Or, hey, if you want to buy it, if you want this, just DM me, right? So there's nothing that like gets me to feel good about it. Like, let's remember that most of these people are about to pay you, if you're doing this right, like a good sum of money, but they're not going to do that unless they trust you, unless they feel like, oh, my money's going towards something or someone rather that I really want to support, and I'm going to get something incredibly valuable to me in my own life as well. So I like this language. Hey, I'd love to help you find the perfect piece. Let me know what speaks to you. Send me a DM. Here's the link. And, if you want more details, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Or let them know like specifics. Like, hey, every piece comes signed. You're also going to get a handwritten thank you note because like I know you're giving me two of your most valuable assets, your money and your time. And I can't say thank you enough for that. And at the same time, I'm going to give you 3 prints if you buy the original, just as a thank you for, supporting the work that I make. So thank you so much. So there's these things here where we're, again, making it about them and what they're going to get. So we're leading with the value that they will find to be valuable rather than just like, hey, if you want this, DM me. If you want a commission, just let me know. It's like, okay, great. But I don't feel like you're really hearing or trying to listen or hear me. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps. So the last one here that makes people feel like something is salesy or icky is when something is scripted or robotic. Hand in the air if you have been this person, right? Like probably I've been this, right? Oh my gosh. And usually we don't mean to be. It's just that we're so afraid to show up and say what we need to say and put ourselves out there that we can't help. It's like, I'm so glad to be here with you today. I really hope that you find my stuff. Just like you don't even know what to say. So you just got to just speak whatever comes out of your mouth. So you really, really, really need to get used to being yourself, especially online. You really, really need to get used to being yourself, especially online. People ask me a lot, do I have to show my face? You don't have to, but you're going to sell way more art if you do. Because let's be real, like you don't make art, you're the art. All of the things that you make are a representation of your story, your life, your experiences, your values, your beliefs. And the more that you can lead people back to those things, the faster that they will connect to you, right? The faster they'll connect to your work, the faster they'll feel something from it. Because, people don't buy things, they buy feelings. The fastest way to get someone to buy something physical is to get them to connect with it emotionally, right? So if you're scripted or robotic about something, it's not going to land. And if you're coming at something with this energy of, well, I don't really want to be on social media anyway, or I don't really want to work on emails, or I don't really want to market my stuff, I'm sorry, it's not going to work, And I don't know. I've just always had this feeling of what a gift that someone is willing to even listen to me talk about my stuff. What a freaking gift, right? What an amazing thing that someone might even entertain the idea of paying me money for this thing that I've made. Like, what an amazing opportunity it is for me to just show up and hopefully help change someone's mind on something. Hopefully help someone see the world in a different way, right? Because that's what artists do. That's what you do. So get out of this feeling of like everything needs to be perfect or scripted to the T, To be a good communicator, you do need structure. I look at it like you have the house, and that's the communication structure. On social media, that might be your hook, your body, your call to action, right? But you are the furniture. You're all the stuff in between. And so if you don't give us the furniture, which is your personality, how you show up and speak to people, like what you say, that is you, then you're just like everybody else. Just like when you show up and say, well, I make watercolors. Well, you and a bazillion other people, right? It's like, so your biggest differentiator as an artist is you. So the faster you can get out of this like scripted robotic state, I'm telling you, the more you're going to make way, 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 way more sales. And it's really, really powerful stuff. So obviously selling more of your art has a lot to do with having people to sell it to, right? And so you may feel like, oh, I need all these new followers. I need to focus on that. Yeah, you might, right? But here's the good news. You don't need tons of followers. You just need the right ones. If you've heard the idea of the 1,000 true fans, if you have 1,000 people that are willing to pay you $100 a year, that's $100,000 a year, right? And the average artist makes about $45,000 a year. So if that helps you to see things differently, it's like, okay, wow, to get to 100K isn't even that crazy to think about, right? So in the next episode, we're going to talk about the secret to selling art without more followers. Because the truth is, if you can't learn to sell to 5 people, you definitely won't know how to sell to 5,000, right? So we want to talk about that next week. And I'm so excited to have that conversation with you all. Please let me know in the comments below what your takeaway is from this episode, what the action item is that you're going to take. And if you have questions or episodes that you'd like to see me make, please put them in the comments. I'd be happy to entertain those ideas. I'm sending y'all tons of love. And remember, you don't make art, you are the art. I'll see you next time.